Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss about the polyester resin. My good name is Shahid Mahmood, Chemistry Department UMT. Firstly, we describe the polyester resin abstract and also we explain the polymer. Polymer basically is the repeating unit of monomers that's called the small units combine and it form the polymer. Some are natural polymer and some are synthetic polymers. Natural polymer like that lipids, protein, carbohydrates, etc. important in our daily life, and also that artificial fibers, plastic, and the replaced new natural materials such that wood, and it's also called the synthetic polymers. And also we discussed that the when a monomers, how much monomers combine to form the polymer is also known as the degree of polymerization. Okay, now we discuss the abstract of the polymerization. The polymeric waste paper composite, including state-of-the-art analysis with quantitative and qualitative discussion. It means that which we will discuss the quality and the quantity. Waste paper is a valuable cellulose-rich materials like that we use in the office paper, newspaper, paper slugs, which can be recycled and returned to the paper production are used in the new life cycle. The different content of the raw waste papers are treated, modified, and cellulose extracted types. The resultant show that the polyethylene and polypropylene are the most used metrics. But polylactic acid, a biodegradable resources polymers, has the most citation. The scientific prevalence of the waste paper composite of the subject, including increasing the trend of the number of the publications and citation over the years as well as the gaps identified, the keyword mapping and the quantitative discussion of the paper. Therefore, the biopolymer are and bio-based polymers could be investigated more, as well as the novel applications. We will discuss the environmental impact in the term of the stability and degradation should also receive more attention regarding sustainability and the life cycle analysis. So we more short discussion about the information. Police reason 2030 agenda or sustainable development goals SDG improved at no people lives no and in the future global partnership SDG number 12 responsible consumption and production. It means that totally are 17 and number 12 responsible consumption and production aim up to achievable sustainable development through the change in the consumption and production pattern through the efficient management of natural resources and change the waste disposal through the preventions and reduction, recycling, and reuse. Basically, our world faces sustainable development challenges due to the security of the natural resources and the environmental impact of human activities. In 2020, 59.7% of total amount of consumption paper was recycled in the world, mainly in Europe, 73.3%, and North America, 68%. Moreover, waste paper is considered the most recycled packing in the Europe, 82%, followed by the metals, 77.4%, glass, 75.4%, and plastic, 40.6%. So, we discussed the introduction of the polyester. Polyester is a type of the polymer. Firstly, we discussed that different monomers, it means that not different. Much of time, same polymer for combine and form the n number of polymers that call the n number of uh, particles that are the polymers. The large molecules made up of the repeating unit that are monomers is synthetic polymer that made from the esterification of dicarboxylic acid and dihydric acid. We can say that uh, equation that ethylene glycol, when it react with the terephthalic acid, it forms the polyethylene terephthalic acid and eliminate the n number of water molecules. These reactions which eliminate a small unit of molecules that call the condensation polymerization is, and the other one is that addition polymerization, in which no elimination of the small particles. We calculated homopolymers, copolymer and terpolymer. Homos, it means that same polymers. When same monomers combine to form the polymer, that called the homopolymer. That we discuss the example like that vinyl acetate, vinyl acetate or vinyl chloride. Vinyl acetate, when it combined with itself, it form the long chain polymers that are the polyvinyl acetate. Okay, and another one is the vinyl chloride, which is also form the PVC polyvinyl chloride and number of polymers. Now we discuss the copolymer. Copolymer, it is identified by the name. Co mean two. Two different polymers, when it combine, it form the polymer. It means that two monomers combine, it form the copolymers. And terpolymer, it mean that three monomers combine and form the copolymer. Form the polymers, but in under the control conditions. Okay, we discussed about example of copolymer, that vinyl acetate react with butyl acemalate, it form the polymer, and it is also known as a different polymer that called the copolymers. And terpolymer, example of that weathering resistant paint, is also known polymers, that terpolymers. Now we discuss the polyester resin are used to variety of industrial and consumption applications, such as manufacturing of the fiberglass, clothing, and bottles and films, and also used to the construction of the boats and tanks, and manufacturing of the automatic parts. Polyester resin is also known as the relatively low cost is of productions and lightweight as well as strength and tautness. Now we discuss in the diagram how we recycle the polymers. Okay. Now molten anhydride bulk storage, when it formed the with the ester storage, it formed the last one is blade aggregated, which is internal cooling coils, which in the presence of internal cooling coils. Now we prepare the resins. Resin, it actually two type: natural and synthetic. Natural is also further divided into the two resin: hard resin and soft resin. Hard resin, that propels amber, and the soft resins in the insect resins and tree resins. So we discuss the about the synthetic polymer resin, synthetic epoxy resin, alkyl resin. You can listen that the epoxy resin. Epoxy resin basically is the combination of two monomers like that epichlorohydride, which consists of chloro and epoxide group, and diphenyl phenylopropane. When it react with diphenyl, is also known as mm, biphenyl ketone. It also known as biphenyl ketone. And when it react, it form the epoxy resin. Okay. Now we discuss the detailed information about the unsaturated polyester resin, UPR. Mostly, mostly type of the polyester resin and used to wide range of the applications, including the Fiberglass manufacturing, construction, consumer goods. It's made after reacting a dicarboxylic acid such as malic acid or fumaric acid with a dihydric alcohol such as the ethylene glycol and propylene glycol. And when it we heat it, dimethylene terephthalate acid and ethylene glycol, it forms the polymer, and we see it in the picture. Secondly, we discuss the gel coat. This type of polyester is used to coating with fiberglass products such as that boards, tanks, and the thick high viscosity polyester resin that used to provide the smooth, glossy surface finish. It means that high viscosity like that differentiate water and honey. Honey is a more viscous. Similarly, we use the high viscosity polyester. It provide and it cover it to the smooth finishing on the surface. Orthophthalic polyester. This type of polyester is made from the orthophthalic acid used in the wide range of application, including construction, consumer goods, and the industrial uses. It is known as the relatively low cost and good weathering properties. Isophthalic polysterism. This type of polysterism is used for isophthalic acid and known as the good chemical resistance and improve the weathering properties compared to the orthophthalic polysterism is used to manufacturing of high performance composites and marine applications. Vinyl polyesterism is another polysterism that made from the reacting of vinyl monomers such as the styrene, which is styrene basically is a we did discuss that styrene it form same polymer it form same monomers it form the long chain polymer that we use in the manufacturing of food containers, and also we use in the cosmetic bottles, manufacturing of cosmetic bottles. Styrene resistance and improve the mechanical properties compared to unsaturated polyester. And sixth one is epoxy resin. Epoxy polyester resin is used to produce a hybrid of epoxy and polyester resins. Application discussed in the figures: biodegradable and the bio-based polymers. All are the biodegradable and bio-based polymers. Now we discuss the waste paper. A cellulose-rich materials, a paper production life cycle including the extraction of the raw materials from the natural sources, on the raw material from the recycled waste post-consumer collected. The raw material is transferred into the pulp that pass through the craft chemical process. Chemical product which can decompose to remove the lignin, and followed by the bleaching process to remove other amorphous components, and we will remove the other one amorphous components by using the bleaching process such that the hemicellulose and the remaining lignin. Then the paper production can be diverse, including office paper, newspaper, packing, toilet paper, and the cardboard. After the end of the life paper product, the waste of the recycled paper is shortened and returned to the paper cycle to produce a recycled pulp for the paper production. The chemical composition, different type of the waste paper such as that office paper, newspaper, slug paper. Among these office paper is the most cellulose in each of the waste paper products due to the pulping chemical processing, which remove most of the amorphous compound. In contrast, newspaper generally goes through the different pulping process, mechanical or chemical property, chemical process in which the low strength paper is produced. Paper plug is the byproduct, including the solid waste from the pulp and paper production, generating the waste paper with the diverse chemical composite. Now we discuss the polyethylene composite. The point works of the reporting of influence of the malic anhydride coupling agent on the mechanical production of the low density blended with the high impact polysterism filled with the 30% weight or percentage presented in the high tank style 42% and impact strength of the 38%, as well the better dispersion of the composite filter with the coupling agent. Other works also the reported the mechanical behavior of composite beside their thermal and morphological structure properties. Um, LDPG grafted from the malic anhydride coupling agent fit with the almost 10 to 50 parts per hundred per horse per hundred has shown increase the tensile strength 88%. It means that it converted the 38 to 88% by using the 10 to 50 parts per hundred, and the stiffness 409% of the cosmetic with the 30% of WP compared to the grafted polymers. This is supported by the morphological analysis showing good in interfacial adhesion between the polymer filter with the favor wide and pull out. I mean the interesting recent work and use with the WP from the beverage packing to produce the composed laminated cosmetic panel to replace typical wooden panels such that dentist standard board. The mechanical result present the improvement in the tensile strength, 400% tensile modules in 15%, 3-point bending strength 54%, and the 3-point bending strength modules 22% for the composite with 50%. P control compared to the OBS panel, the author concluding the material could replace wooden panel following environmental concerns. No, the Western newspaper was tested as the filter sheets like laminated composite made up of the hot pressing process and characterized in the 3 article series. The first one related to the relationship between flexure strength and the composite density, as well as water absorption and um, porosity. mm, Porosity concerning WP content of flexure strength and density showed linear correlation with maximum value 99.4 mega per hour and 1.4 gram per centimeter cube, respectively, highlighting the influence of the density of the mechanical properties of the composite. Water absorption was also correlated to porosity because of the pores wide mm, filled with the are known as the faculty water penetrating. The second work studying the influence of the stair like the vertical splitting on the properties of the hard pin WP laminate composite, in which stair like splitting provides the optimum physiological behavior as well as tensile strength, increasing the 62% for 0 degree stock direction to 11.1% for 90 degree. In contrast, the flexure property decreased because of the poor interaction of the flicking position. The last paper focus on modifying the WP filter with the steady casting and to improve the water resistance of the final composites. The treatment was found to be effective in the improving the composite water resistance related to the acidification bond between the hydroxy groups and the stearic acid carboxylic group. All these interactions improve the tensile strength of the wet sample as the stearic acid construction concentration increased. Now we discuss the fiberglass manufacturing. Polyester resin is most commonly used in the fiberglass perspective like that boards, tanks, and other composite material construction. Polyester resin is also used to construction of building, bridges, and other construction structures. It is used to the binder of the manufacturing of concrete and as well as coating with the various building materials. Automotive Automotive precision is used to manufacture of the various automotive parts such that body panels and interior parts. Marine, it meant shell, ships, and other marine structures. It also used in the also used precision in it. Consumer goods. Polyester is used to the manufacturing of wide range of consumer goods as such that clothing, bottles, films, and other plastic products. Industrial application. Polyester is used to manufacturing of the various industrial products such that gears and bearings, pipes, and other equipment. Chemical industrial industries. Polyester is also used in the chemical processing as the binder and the coating of the various chemical container. And we discussed the medical. Glycerin is used to the manufacturing of the prosthetic prosthetic devices, dental implants, and the medical equipment. Packaging. Glycerin is also used in manufacturing packaging materials such that bottles and a container. It is also used in textile. Glycerin is used to coating of the fabric and make them the water resistant and UV resistant. Now we discuss the properties and performance of the glycerin. Low cost. Polyester is relatively inexpensive compared to the other type of the resin, making the cost effectively option for many application. Lightweight lightweight that polyester is make of the useful application where lightweight is concerned, such that manufacturing of boats and other marine structures. um, and the good mechanical properties precision, that the high strength toughness and the impact resistance. Good chemical resistance precision is mainly chemical such that the acids and base, making it so useful application for application where the chemical resistance is important. Good weathering property precision has good weathering properties, can be resist UV radiation, making the useful for outdoor applications. Low flammability. Resin have the low flammability self-exhaustion, making it useful application where the fire resistance important, easy to process. Resin is also beneficial that easy to process and can be shaped, molded into the various form. Good adhesion. Good glycerins have good adhesion, can be used to binder in the variety of application. Biodegradable, some type of the glycerins are biodegradable, can break down the environmental in the variety and short period of time. The performance of the polyester can be affected by the several factors, including the type of resins, manufacturing of process, and the condition under that resin is used. The general performance of the polyester resin can be characterized by its mechanical properties, chemical resistant weathering properties, and the flammability. Recently development in polyester resin technology. First one is the bioplastics. One of the most significant recent development in the polyester technology is the one of bio-based material to make the polyester. This type of polyester known as the bioplastic is to made of the renewable sources such that plant-based material which reduces environmental impact. Recycling. Another recently development in the polyester technology is that recycling the polyester. It is a more benefit for human. It is increased the awareness of the plastic waste, that there is the growing the effect to recycle polyester and use to make new product. It means that we convert the bad product, bad quality into the good one by using the process of recycling. Nanocomposites and nanoparticle technology is also used in the polyester, and that we can discuss that composed of the polyester nanoparticles. This type of polyester is stronger, more durable, and the more resistant to, to environmental factor than traditional polyester. It means that when we form the polyester on the nanoscales, it is more beneficial and it is more efficient and more resistant to environmental factor. Now we discuss the biodegradable polyester. Another recent development in the polyester technology is the development of the biodegradable polyester, which can be degraded in the relatively short period of time in the presence of microorganisms. UV curable polyester. Another recent development in the polyester technology in the development of UV curable polyester. This type of polyester can be cured or hardened in the exposing of the UV light, which reduce the time and energy required to cure the resin. No last one. is the fire retardant glycerin. Another recent development in the glycerin is technology of development of the fire retardant glycerin, which can resist the fire, reducing the risk of the fire. Applications are construction, automotive, and the consumer goods. Now we discuss the environmental impact of the and the disposal. Pollutions. Pollution basically made up from the petroleum-based materials like that. Processing of release the pollutants into the air and water, which pollute our atmosphere and our water. That called the water pollutions. Additionally, when the pollution is not disposed to properly, it can end up the environmental, which can be negatively affect on the wildlife and the ecosystem. Plastic waste, the polymer reason is the type of the plastic, and like all plastic, it can be hundred of year degraded in the environment. This can lead the buildup of the plastic waste landfills and oceans, where we can negative effect of the wildlife and ecosystems. Now we discuss the microplastics. Microplastic, like it can break into the small particles known as the microplastics. That tiny particles can be in injected in the marine animals and can cause the harm of their health. Carbon footprint. The production of the pollution also contribute to the carbon footprint. It releases the greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, which are harmful uh, for life. Note: the reduced environmental impact of the pollution is an important recycle a proper disposal of the material. Recycling of pollution can reduce the amount of the plastic waste in the landfill and oceans, while proper disposal can help to minimize the release of pollutants in the air and water. Finally, we discuss the conclusion. Recent development in the pollution technology, such that use of nanoparticles, have led to creation of the new improved type of the pollution, stronger, durable, and the more resistant environmental factor. However, the production of the pollution is also contribute to pollution and plastic waste. Proper disposal of the pollution waste, such that recycling or properly disposing of the designated facility, the important of to minimize the release of pollutants into the air and water, reduce amount of the plastic waste to landfills and oceans, and prevent the formation of microplastics. It is also important to consider the life cycle of the product made with the polyester. For example, replacing the disposable product with the renewable, reusable ones, using the products new the recycled polyester. This will be only the reduced amount of the not only the reduced amount of the waste generated, but also contribute to sustainable development. Overall, polystyrene have many benefits, but important to consider the environmental impact and the implement sustainable practice and production used to disposal. Now we discuss the reference from which all data is collected. Thank you so much.